Right then, no more dilly-dallying about. Let's get this done. Sit that on there. We're going to put this here. We're going to make this a foot control. Yeah. So we've got a few situations where both our hands are working, controlling. So we can't use our hands, but we can use our feet, can't we, to operate the secret lock. So let's just is that enough to cut that? Yeah, that's got to be enough. We'll make it so that's enough. So yeah, let's get this fitted. Let's cut this slot out here, transfer the holes to the back, cut a slot in the back as well. Yeah, let's get on with it. Well, it's not as wide as it should be. Wider, unless we leave that other plate there and slide the whole plate up and down. So we'll put this here, put a shaft through there. How thick does it have to be? Because we could just weld something on the back of that, couldn't we, and make it slide up and down. We could weld I guess a bolt on the end of there. That would make it go up and down, wouldn't it? Would do that, so it doesn't have to be that this coming through, does it? And that would sort of control it, this end. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll weld a nut onto here, coming out that way. Maybe cut this plate in half, round it off a bit, and then bring a bolt from the back through here. I think that's the way to go. So ordinarily, I'd always say thread all the way, because you've got ultimate adjustability. You can do what you want with it, and if you bring it to here, you can cut the end off. But I think in this case, because it's going down that channel, it's a ready-made, quite rough channel. I think a nice long shoulder. The channel, you know, rough thread on rough channel causes snags, doesn't it? But, or even rough thread down a smooth channel is good. But rough and rough don't mix. But if we put a smooth bolt going down a rough channel, it's got a better chance not to catch, isn't it? So we'll cut that, or shall we bolt it through? No, because that'll be in the way. No point putting a hole and putting it there and welding this side, because you won't get the nut back on, will you? No. I think we'll put this about here somewhere, cut the head off, reduce the space behind the back there, weld that on there. This will be coming through the door, won't it? And it's going up and down on a ready-made channel, so that would make it smoother to go up and down with, rather than catch it on a thread. Helicopter going by. Can you hear it? We seem to be on some sort of path. They seem to like coming over the top of the house for some reason. We must be on the way. Anyway, yeah, I think long shoulder is going to come through the door going up and down, and we've got enough here to catch it or extend it by. Yeah. So I think making this system here on the wall has been one of the best things I've ever done for my shelving, because you can just go and look and see, and then look for an alternative instantly in front of your face. Yeah, it's great. You know, it's great looking at the jars and going along the jars and going, shall I use this, shall I use that, shall I use the other? But by the time you've done that shelf and this shelf, you've forgotten what was down here in this shelf, haven't you? So I quite like this here, where you can look and decide, That one, no. That one, maybe, yeah. What else? What about this? What about that? And then, so I think this was a cracking idea. I don't really know if I picked it up from somebody or saw it anywhere else. It's got to be, well, I'll tell you where I saw it from. I saw it from Ellen Jonah shop, and it was these, there was a grid, a square grid, and these weren't tied to wood, they were tied to a square grid, and everything was tied to the grid. I saw it in a shop, that's where I saw it. And then obviously converted it to here. Yeah, so this is you know, it impressed me and came in useful so many times. I've just been able to go to something when you're in the middle of making. Well, seems pretty smooth, doesn't it, this end? Seems pretty smooth. Pretty smooth that way. You got the flap disc. Cut it first with the grinding, and then got the flap disc and sort of smoothed it over. So it's feeling okay. We've just got to make the groove the other side now. We've drilled a hole here, and we've drilled a hole there. So, and one in the middle to guide us in a straight line, you know, a Reggie straight line. Yeah, so let's give that a bash now then. So I want this as well to be, it's aluminium, it's off like a beer pulling thing. So it would be nice to sort of incorporate it somehow, wire a thread coming off to go up here. So nice and chunky for your foot, isn't it? So you probably put a good spring on it. The spring will open it. Then you'll get your foot and you'll push the foot down to wherever you want it, wherever the middle will be, whatever we've determined. And that will be where we're going. Something like that maybe. So this is going to come through the back, not right here, come there sort of thing. So let's weld that there, so that's going through the door. This is the shaft going up and down. Obviously it's a brass, but we'll change that for steel. And we'll do some sort of nut fixing there. Be nice to come at a slight angle, wouldn't it? For now, let's put it there. And that will be like the foot control, wouldn't it? Thought I would just check, yes. It's going to fit in and it's going to clear here. So this is going to be the foot thing. The spring will bring it up. You put your foot on it and bring it to the middle, and that's how you'll open the door. That's what I'm thinking of at the moment. There's where the slot's going to be in. The bolt's going to go up and down here. It looks like we'll get around here and we can make a junction here and we'll come straight across to the lock, and the lock will operate up and down. It'll be interesting to see how much movement we're going to need to make this move and how much movement this is going to produce. But if all else fails, we'll put like a funny link here on a bolt end and it'll twist and that'll make it. But anyway, let's crack on with this. Woo! We've made a breakthrough. We've got our movement through the door. That's what we wanted, wasn't it? So we're through the door. So we've got some leeway here, haven't we? We've got a bit of in and out wiggle room. So I was going to weld this onto the back of that. I'm going to weld this onto the back of that and somewhere there. But now we've got that space, we can drill a hole in here, put this through, and then weld the head on, which will then leave this quite flush to be able to go up and down there, won't it? So that'll be going up and down there like that. We'll have the mess of the weld. Instead of it being behind it and causing it trouble, we'll drill a hole here, and we'll weld the head of the nut on here, which will give us enough meat to put a nut here for the foot as well. So that's okay, that's going to work out. That length of shoulder is going to work in our favour. Got to be careful. I drill the hole here. Got to make sure it clears over here, so the bolt's going to come out about there somewhere, which is just sort of above there, which is good enough because we can weld around the top, and if we have to cut a slice or clear a bit out there to allow that to go round, no big thing, is it? So yeah, just make sure we don't foul ourselves on the end here. Yeah, so we're going to weld over the top of it really, and leave this bottom here for this to slide by. That's the plan. So that's going to help us put it in the vise. That's going to help it keep it nice and straight, isn't it? So if we just burn around here now at the top, that'll be fine. Yeah, it's going to be all right. We might just grind a bit of that off, or cut the head of that off to give it plenty of room so it can sit down. Yeah, a bit more clearance on that. Or turn this maybe. Do something. It's easy enough. Just cut that end of the bolt off. Just weld round here, that'll do the trick. Well, by George, I think we've got it. I think we've got it. Here we go. Yeah. We've got it. We've got it. We've got it. We've got it. We've got it through the door. Woo! By George, I think we've got it. Yeah. Onwards and upwards. I enjoy the challenge of obscure threads for somebody else, but when I have to find it, it's annoying. This, it isn't metric. It isn't metric, it isn't AF. It's quite a coarse thread, isn't it? Maybe that's why this is brass. Some sort of electrical thing, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't come easily to hand because it's a very coarse thread, much coarser than a metric or an AF. So I don't know what you bar people, you pub people might know what thread they use on the end of this. And I want to weld it. So brass is no damn good for that, is it? So we're going to have to get distracted and go digging in the old stock, in the Whitworth and the obscure thread department, to go and find it. So close yet so far. I don't really want to mess that up, but nothing modern goes into it anyway. So, is there anything here that might do the trick? I don't think so. It's all generally modern threads, all metric. This lot is. It's only brass coloured, it's not brass, that one. But I don't want brass. I want steel because I want to weld it. We're going to have to open the drawer of doom and look in the pot of bolts of doom, never to be seen the light of day again. Let's have a dig around in here, see what we can find. So we found what we're looking for, but it's a bit of a battered old soldier, isn't it? Let's see if we can find a better one. So, this fits lovely, no problem. Metric don't go near it. Anyway, I found this battered old boy, sort of, and it's just a battered thread that's wrong with this one. Just well hammered, well abused in it, this one. Anyway, I just thought I'd take a chance on. I've got these Whitworth bolts, nuts and bolts, proper old ones, right? And look, goes in there, sweet. Who knew that a bar pulling thread thing, handle thing, it can't be that old, it looks a fairly modern handle for a beer pulling thing, is a Whitworth thread. Mad, isn't it? Mad. Well, I think it's going to be just fine, you know. Hold on. Not there, look. It's going to be just fine. This is going to be there. This is going to go up and down like that. Yeah. We're going to have to somehow pack the back of it, which is basically just put a big washer behind here and then put the fixings on here, whatever we decide to do. And that will go up and down. And all we have to do then is make a link from here up to there, and I think we've done it. So that's as much as you're going to get today, I think. It's as much as you're going to get today. Bit by bit, I'll keep you wanting. So big washer, big plate here. So it just sits in between. Connect the bar from there to here somewhere. From there, figure out the swing, what we need. And do you know what? I think we've done it. Yeah, I think we've done it. Anyway, so this is the last but one session. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to weld a chain onto that, aren't we? To finish that off. Yeah, then we'll take it all apart again and we'll clean it and we'll weld it some more and try and tidy it up a little bit. Well, try, you know. But and of course we're going to have a spring on it, aren't we? We could even have the spring coming up here somewhere. Hook it up here, make it dangle in there so you don't see the spring. Do you know what? I think we're going to be okay, you know, and it's going to clear the door when it shuts. So, I think we're going to be okay.